Hey everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at Myself a Home. And we've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today. So let's get started.
Today is episode 132, Kitchen Decor Done Right.
Well, I'm so glad we're covering this topic today because I think this is a real problem area for a lot of people.
And I also think kitchens are a really popular thing to talk about as well.
Well, we spend a lot of time in there, right? So it should be a happy place for you.
Mm-hmm. It should be, but I think the other thing that's happened over time is that with the advent of Pinterest and Houzz and blogs, people see these gorgeous brand new kitchens, and then it's hard to be happy with your old kitchen if it's dated when you see this fabulous, bright, shiny new kitchen with all these new tiles and countertops. And yeah, I think it's kind of rough.
So let's get talking about our kitchens. First of all, I think it's important to know what our kitchens look like and the point of view we're coming from. So Kelly, why don't you start? Tell us about your kitchen.
Well, I like to approach decorating a kitchen just like it's another room. So I add the same types of elements that I would have in a living room or dining room or even a bedroom. I like to have art in my kitchen. I like to have more fanciful lighting in my kitchen that might normally be considered kitchen lighting.
Now, when you're saying fanciful, what are you talking about?
I have a chandelier.
I know, but our listeners don't. Yeah.
I have a chandelier. It's actually the original chandelier in the entryway of the house. And so I moved it into my kitchen. And I have, I like Sunday art. I have art from an estate sale that I found, and it's of a barn with a truck in front of it. And it's just, I love it. And that is above my stove. And I have a mirror in my kitchen and the back staircase because I think every room benefits from a mirror. So I would not exclude the kitchen from that list of every room. So I definitely bring in elements that may not be traditionally considered kitchen elements in order to decorate my kitchen.
And if you've never seen Kelly's, she has a video of her house. It's a house tour. We'll put it in the show notes, but also you can go to her blog, and the video is amazing because you get a good look at her kitchen, and it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. My favorite are those windows in her kitchen.
Oh, in the back
with the metal frame. Yes. The metal frames are just amazing.
Well, that was definitely a kitchen goal of mine. I've always wanted a kitchen that opened up to the backyard, and when it's done it will be opening up to the garden, and I couldn't be happier with
I hope you have a little kitchen herb garden so you can open those gorgeous glass French doors out to your little pots or your
That's
garden.
What I want to happen. I need to get some raised
and
beds
to clip
going.
Things. Yes. Okay, Anita, tell us about your kitchen.
Well, it's open concept. And a lot of people have open concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that we've got to work with. And I kind of like a very clean, open look. So I don't like a lot of clutter on the countertops or on the island. So I really try to just go with a few things, and I try to go with that old world look. So is this something that might have been in a kitchen 100, 200 years ago? So I have a couple of wood bowls, some vases. I say vases, they're actually pitchers, some blue pitchers, white pitchers, some wooden implements and spoons in a nice old pottery pitcher. I've got, some cutting boards and a marble cutting board, also with them sitting. So really not a lot. A plant under a cloche on the island. So I really kind of lean on the decor, but I have, it's open concept. There's a wall of cabinets. There's really not room to do a lot of things in there. And in one area, I had the cabinets built so they went all the way down to the countertop. So there's no room to put anything on the countertop there. So I really, even though it's a large kitchen, there's not a lot of counter space to work with. And the island is big, but I really don't like it all fussed up with stuff. So that's kind of my approach, is to kind of keep it clean, open, and airy. And then I have the white cabinet, so that helps. And then with all the glass, I have a lot of glass front cabinets, so it's very open and airy looking.
When I look at your kitchen, I think of an open concept galley kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just beautiful. I fall somewhere in between, and I think my style is way different than Kelly's and Anita's. I have I have a farmhouse kitchen. It was built to look, because we have a farmhouse inspired home.
And you're out in farmland.
Oh, absolutely. All around us. But it's a very upscale farmhouse with a lot of fluted edges of things and a lot of heavy millwork. It was handmade in my garage, but I like it sort of it has more of a modern flair to it. I have drum lighting, and over my big island, I have, it looks like a big iron platform just filled with candles. And they're really lights. But it does have a much more modern feel. Like I've got glass canisters, big jars that sit on my one side of my sink, my Keurig, and I keep a pretty utilitarian kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I must say, at Christmas I decorated a little more, just because I like to decorate for Christmas. But my kitchen sits on one side of an open area, and you'd have to look through my breakfast nook and then into my family room. And I just think that's a lot of things to look through. Mm-hmm. So I like to keep my kitchen rather sparse, because I think it can be a very cluttered look if I don't.
Well, I think you bring up a good point about keeping things sparse. I think a lot of times we're not happy with our kitchen because maybe the cabinets need to be painted, or we want to replace the countertop. And then we feel, we don't like it. So then we start adding stuff to kind of camouflage the fact that the cabinets aren't painted or the countertop's not to our liking. And then you're thinking, it's not fixed. So you keep adding more and more and more.
To hide it.
Right, to hide it. Yeah. But then it ends up feeling cluttered and worse.
Yeah.
So I'm really of the mind, I'm thinking back to the episode we did recently on adding elegance to your home. And I'm thinking the word that's coming to mind for me on decorating a kitchen is restraint, and not to put much in there. And if you're unhappy with your kitchen, the problem is probably not that you don't have enough stuff in there, and you probably know what it is. I mean, I know in my old house, I had been transitioning from that Tuscan look that we talked about to a farmhouse neutral kind of French look. And so I really wanted white walls, but I had golden yellow walls. And I tried to fix, because I didn't want to fool with painting the walls, I was trying to fix it by changing out what was hanging on the walls. But the reality was, the only fix was painting the walls. And the more I tried to fix it, the more frustrated I became, because I didn't want to have to paint them. They really needed to be painted. But, it was right around the time we were moving in this house. So I didn't end up painting. I just kind of held out because I knew we were moving, and I thought, if I can sell the house with this paint, I'm just going to do it, which I did. And the new owners painted it the color they wanted. But I think there's a lesson there that if you're unhappy with your kitchen, it may just be time to put in that countertop or the new backsplash or the new paint. And I think you're just not going to be happy till you do that.
And here I think is our first tip: declutter everything.
Yes.
Because hiding it with a bunch of stuff really only makes it look worse.
Yes. And then you've got a clutter issue, but after you do all that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And of all the rooms in your house, you want the kitchen to be clean and tidy and clutter free.
Yes. Very much agree.
And I think of my kitchen word is utilitarian, because I like things in my kitchen that are usable. But I don't, when I'm saying that, I don't mean I keep my toaster out or my mixer out. Those things I put away. We can get our toaster out every day. It's not that heavy. It's in a cabinet. I can just pull it right out, and then we just put it back, because it makes such visual mess to me. That I'd like that clean counter space instead. And I think in a designer house, a designer looking kitchen, or a kitchen done right, you don't see all your appliances sitting out.
Yeah, I don't have any appliances sitting out, but I admit I have the luxury of having granite countertops and a plug in the pantry. So I keep all that hidden there. But we've also, we don't use an electric can opener anymore because I don't want it to have to deal with it.
Yeah,
Things like that. We don't have the mixer
one.
sitting out anymore because I just use the immersion blender and it just goes in a drawer. So there's probably a lot of things sitting out that you probably hardly use that you can put up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the one thing I do have out, I wish they'd come out with a nicer look, is a Keurig coffee maker. I can't live without that. But I wish they'd come out with something very stylish or something like square or just all silver or something that doesn't have a light where my water lights up with its blue,
Yes, I know. They probably think that looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They make it look like an espresso machine.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what they need to do. A faux espresso machine where you kind of sneak it in and, no, it's really a Keurig.
Well, actually, Yvonne, I thought of you every day when we were in Texas on the set with Flip and Move because they had a Keurig and it became sort of my best friend.
I know.
I needed
she was over there every day.
I needed a little jolt. And I didn't even, I had to sort of
bless your hearts.
Well, I thought of you every day when I made it because I didn't even really know how to use it the first day. I don't even think I told Anita. I didn't know how.
Oh, she didn't tell me.
I was just watching the person ahead of me and I was like, okay, so I take one of those little cuppy things.
I think for Kelly, she's like, yeah, but Kelly I'm a foreigner in a foreign land. I'm in Texas. I don't know what's going on.
And now I'm having a foreign drink. Oh, where's my black tea? But I didn't realize that maybe yours isn't like this, but then you choose the amount of ounces. So I didn't want to I didn't want to overflow. I'd rather be under. So I had like a little shot of the coffee the first time.
And you can set it to the strong setting. So it's like espresso.
I will say that she was quite the peppy one there.
Well, my brother's in from California right now. And we were sitting around talking last night and I said something about the Keurig and he said, oh, we have one at our office and he works for a really nice company. And he says, but we ration our Keurig pods because people steal them and take them home.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't believe that. But anyway, I have a Keurig out and that's really the only appliance I have out. And if you want your kitchen to look uncluttered, see if you can put some of your appliances away.
Well, I'm so amused that you say you don't like the way the Keurig looks because this was the big thing I had going with the builder. I said, I was just like grabbing. I'm like, you've got to make room for that Keurig in the pantry. I cannot have that sitting out.
I'm thinking about maybe I could get a granite, just a shelf. That I could put my Keurig in
it just needs the plug
pantries.
then.
Like a little mausoleum.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, I must say, we don't microwave very often, but when I need it, I love it. So we have our microwave hidden in one part of our pantries, like two little doors open up and there it is. It would be a perfect place for the Keurig, but I don't think I want to give up my microwave, even though I don't use it.
Microwave, I know it's not really decor, but since we're talking about minimizing, one of the best things that I did when we created this kitchen here was to get the Sharp microwave drawer. It is fabulous.
Well, we did, I guess, something similar. It's actually hidden in our island, but yeah, a drawer would be nice too.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free
That's right, a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
I think other than appliances and keeping the clutter down, Anita, what you were saying is so right. I know that it's hard for people that have outdated. They think their cabinets look outdated. But also here's another thing. And I'll tell you, they're so easy to paint. Or have them painted, but I know that several bloggers have painted them and they're absolutely gorgeous.
And what a difference that makes.
I don't know if everyone knows this, but the other option is, let's say you don't like the look of the shape of your cabinet doors. You can get your cabinets refaced. Now it's not as cheap as painting it, but you can get them refaced so you have new cabinet doors, but they're not having to rip out all your cabinets. So we're kind of looking at that. That's probably what we'll do with the Mountain House is reface because so we're going to be doing something like that. So that's an option.
Yeah. And if it's not this way now, but you are going to be moving or you're going to put in a new kitchen, consider doing paint grade cabinetry if you're going to paint. And obviously if you're going to stain, then you'd want to do a nicer wood. But the paint grade cabinetry allows you to change the paint color in a really easy way, just like painting any piece of wood.
Right.
Sometimes, or oftentimes I should say, kitchen cabinets have some sort of coating on them or something that makes it more difficult when you want to change the color because it doesn't adhere as well. So I have always done paint grade cabinetry in the kitchens that I've created in the homes that we've had. And that way I had red cabinets in my last house, and kind of like Anita, I was considering changing them, but we were moving, so I didn't. But the next people, they did paint them, and it was so easy.
That is such a good idea. We've moved. We are now 24 years in this house. I have white cabinetry, and I've never regretted it because it's timeless. It looks as good now as it did when we first put them in. Now we've had them repainted. And so we're really pleased with that. So, try to maybe pick something that is that's a little more timeless. I think like a white paint is it may not be the hot thing, but
with a white kitchen.
Absolutely.
Right. That's true.
Absolutely.
It's always going to be in style. It might not be the hot thing at the time, but let's talk too about the things that we have sitting out, because that's something that, you can easily change. It's not something that requires a big expense. And I've already talked about the wood bowls, the wood utensils in a sweet, pretty pitcher on the countertop. Sometimes I've seen people use silver champagne buckets to hold their utensils. I think that's a great look. Or a silver water pitcher. I've seen those. And then I think it's a great place to sneak in a plant somewhere, a live plant.
If you have the room, that's a beautiful thing to do. Also, I think that what you have, if you have a place, I know that Kelly does this for a little lamp.
Yep.
That'll really warm things up. We don't want to clutter it up, but that's utilitarian.
I love the idea of the lamp. You do have, the problem is the cord. So you're going to have to do something to kind of where the cord is just not spilled out all over the countertop. You might need to kind of twist it up and put a twist tie on it. Yes.
Oh yeah. So you twist it up and then you create a little vignette on the one side of my lamp.
Yes.
And I got a lamp that has a wider base. It's sort of bulbous. So the cord, when it's tucked behind it, you can't see it. If it was kind of like a candlestick lamp, you would really see the cord. And then to the right of it, as you're looking at it, I have a crock, and that's where we'll put, the wine bottle that's in use,
I love that idea.
And then on the other side of it, I have a small little wooden cutting board.
Is there always a wine bottle in use?
Hey, it's Kelly. What do you think?
Yes.
She lives in California.
Sometimes, yes, it's part of the rule when you live in California. You have to be wine tasting all the time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I saw your Instagram post on Jadot, and I enjoy those wines as well. That was well done.
Yes.
Yeah. So I agree with you. The cord is something you have to consider because you're like, oh, I'm going to put a lamp in there, and you stick it in, and you're like,
but you can't do it. Just hide it. Just make sure it's hidden.
Just hide it. And then on the other side, I have an enamel coffee pot that I keep extra chamomile tea in, and that sits there, so it blocks the whole thing.
Well, and the other thing Kelly was doing while we were at Flip and Move, which is something I do at home, is putting something a little taller in front of where your outlets are so
smart.
that you don't see them. So, you can always disguise those by putting your wine bottle in front of them.
It was so fun
something
decorating with Anita.
I know, it was fun.
I have to say, we were so much on the same page on so many things, but to feel it in action and have the creativity going was really something special. It really, and we had to do it all so fast that it was like upon reflection when I was on the plane thinking, God, that was so fun. We were definitely on the same page about it. And the house was neither of our looks, really.
Mm-hmm. No, but it was,
but you're a decorator, so you can
right.
Go with
but
the
we
flow.
knew, but we knew the look that they wanted. So that's what we were helping them do.
Was great in that house. They did, lighter on the top and then darker on the bottom, a cabinetry and a small little kitchen. And it was absolutely charming. And we pulled out some woods and some gold things and put some plates up, and it looked really great.
But I'm hoping for you that this podcast is for you the same as it has been for us, because when we were there, I was hearing not just my own thoughts in my head, but all the things that I've heard on this podcast on decorating tips and tricks. I could hear Yvonne saying things. I could hear Kelly saying things, and I could hear words like limited color palette.
Yeah.
I mean, these words were coming to me.
Bigger is better.
Right. Yeah. So I'm hoping that it has the same effect for you that it did for us working together. And it was so fun. She was such a trooper, really. Kelly was wonderful to work with.
Fun. Well, here's another thing that you can do. And we did shop for knobs when we were there. But if you don't like your knobs, that is such can be and should be, mind you, a very inexpensive change. You do not have to spend a lot of money for knobs.
Right. Now there are expensive ones there, but you don't have to buy the expensive ones.
And so many places have sort of knockoff of expensive things.
Yes. We love D Lawless is a great source for knobs. Home Depot on the big box shops. Even if they don't have it in the finish you like, what am I going to tell you to do? I'm going to tell you to spray paint them.
Okay, you want to say something? We had them actually spray painted professionally. We had our kitchen cabinets painted about 6 months ago. However, they're not wearing well.
Okay, but all spray paint's not created equal.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Just keep it.
Do it so
right, but keep in mind if it's heavy use. I don't know how well it's going to hold up. But now we also at the Flip and Move, we had curtain rods, and they were not the right color. So
something like that would be wonderful.
We painted them a different color, so which I'm not going to reveal everything, but. something like that that's not going to be touched a lot, I think is going to hold up the paint a lot better. But so maybe, Kelly, do you have some spray paint you would use that's going to really hold up to a lot of wear?
Well, depending on what the material of the knob is, so I'm assuming it was some sort of metal, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing a spray paint that is specifically for metals. And I would just, you might even want to do a spray primer and really let each coat dry. Like, 24 hours in between. Even you think, oh, it's this little knob, like it'll dry in 20 minutes. It really doesn't. And that will, if each coat is put on too quickly, it's not going to have the time to adhere properly. So I'm sure the people that Yvonne had or did a great job, and I'm sure that.
But they probably
really
don't normally work with spray paint, so maybe they don't know. And so, Kelly, do you put a protective coat on as well, like a clear lacquer?
You could spray, you could definitely spray some sort of clear coat. They have matte clear coats. It's just like spraying a polyurethane on, but you may not want something shiny, so I would look for a matte one. But that's such an easy switch. That's just such a simple thing to do and can make such a difference. If you took the time, and especially if you had a smaller size kitchen and you took the time to paint your cabinets, we just painted the cabinets in our laundry room, which are, there was probably 4 cabinets and then some shelving and it really didn't take that long. And it was just, Peter would do an hour or two, I'd do an hour or two, and we just got it done. You take the doors off. It's really not that big of a deal. Just make sure if you're going to paint them that you clean this, if it's been a kitchen that's been in use, even if you are the tidiest of people, there will be some, grease. There will be things because of cooking in the air that will have settled on the cabinets.
Use a degreaser.
Exactly.
I have another thing that I think kitchens that are done right have great lighting. And I'm talking about aesthetic lighting, not just utilitarian lighting. I know in our house we had, the canned lights up from our ceiling. But we had one over our sink, and I thought we needed something else over there. I can't put curtains on it, just the way my cabinets come right to the molding around my window. So we got a pendant light with a drum shade that actually fit into the socket of the canned light.
That's the coolest thing that they have those now.
Oh,
you can just convert
what
a
a
kit.
difference. And they're not expensive, but you talk about a big difference in how your kitchen looks.
Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
Oh, speaking of that, you just reminded me because, we are completely redoing the kitchen at the Mountain House. And right now, all the cabinets are golden oak, which is not my favorite. But also over the island, there were some pendant lights that were dated looking and I just really didn't like the look of them. Plus, I was planning to rip that island out, move it out because it just, the kitchen looked so crowded. Once we took those pendant lights out and just put the candlelights in instead, it opened up the look so much. I'm thinking I'm going to leave the island where it is.
Oh.
So that's another
So you
tip.
got rid of pendant lighting that didn't work.
Right, but then added the candlelights. They had to move it over a little bit. It's moved over, but I didn't get rid of the lighting. There's still light there. So
But you got rid of the fixtures that you had before.
But it made such a difference. So that's another thing to think about because sometimes it's nice. I guess you're talking about converting candlelights to pendant lights.
Yeah, I definitely needed something to give
which
it a
you
little
can do,
splash.
but you may want to go the other direction if you feel like your lighting is closing off your kitchen and if it feels cluttered or crowded to you, that's another thing that you can do.
Well, especially if it's over an island, because that's in the center where Yvonne's got it. She's over her sink. So, I think that was a great solution in both places.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. You can go either way. And these were heavy looking too.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to, so a light hanging down, pendant light over your sink is not going to make your kitchen feel crowded, but these really did. So yeah, I was excited when we got rid of those.
Here's another big decision. I think one of the biggest things in most people's kitchen is their refrigerator. And I had a white refrigerator that moved in with me to the house. And so it was like over 30 years old. And I loved it. And it was white and everything in my house was white. Then comes the stainless steel. So we just were going to keep this refrigerator till it died. And it just about died. And I said, Bob, we're going to lose, everything in the fridge if we don't get a new refrigerator. So we looked, and first of all, the space they had made for it matched the space that the refrigerator was going into the house. So here we find out it's not a very big refrigerator.
Oh, so the new counter depth ones are wider.
Yeah.
So could you fit a decent size? So were you really limited on what you could fit there?
Yes, very limited. But anyway, we found one. But the big deal is, do I want to go white because I like that look, or do I want to go stainless steel? And I really wrestled with that a long time.
Really? Because
Yes.
it's a no-brainer for me, stainless all the way.
I know, but everything, my cooktop and my oven is stainless, but like and I'll tell you, if we could have had a kit so I could have it look like my cabinetry, that's how I would have gone, because that's what we did with our.
That's called fully integrated.
But I could not, because for that size of a refrigerator, they don't do that.
Yeah, that's more for the bigger ones.
So,
right? And I think they have to be counter depth usually.
Yeah, I went, but ours is like sort of built in. It has its own like little station. But I ended up getting the stainless, and I look at it and I like it now, but I'm thinking, if I get tired of this, and stainless will probably be around for a long, long time. I even thought of, and I've seen it done, that repositional wallpaper you can put on your refrigerator.
What a great idea.
And if you go
on top of the stainless, or do you have to put a panel?
No, you go to wallsneedlove.com, and they have in their just pictures of things they've done. They have a refrigerator that I drool over.
Wow.
They're so awesome. And I thought, what a great designer look that is.
Well, and I'm looking at, I'm thinking also the side of the refrigerator might be a great place to put the wallpaper, the repositionable wallpaper, because I'm thinking a lot of times the stainless refrigerators, the sides typically are black and they're not that attractive. That might be a fun place to put it.
And mine actually sits in almost like a wooden milled box. Yes, right in.
Well, yours is custom made. Most houses don't have that.
Okay, so let me jump in here. So if you have a refrigerator that has an exposed side, my suggestion is either do it yourself if you've got some carpentry skills, or have someone just drop a wood panel there, put some matching trim on it to make it look like it's flowing into your walls, right?
That would be a wonderful idea too.
I don't want to have an exposed side of my refrigerator. It looks much more custom if it's enclosed.
Sometimes some people don't have room for that though.
And I'll tell you, I think a really cool pattern, it could be even a little loud, would be a really great designer look.
On the side.
Oh, I think that'd be fun. Or on the front. I think that'd be fun to play around with it. If you didn't know, I probably wouldn't do that on a brand new stainless because I'd be kind of worried about
I'm not going to do it now, but
yeah.
I have a feeling I might get a little tired of that, to be honest with you.
Right. So, I mean, I think that's a great, fun idea. And I mean, I've seen some fun things people have done with some old refrigerators. So there's really some cool ideas out there.
Let me just also say this. We have 2 ways you can get into our kitchen. 3 ways, 4 ways, but there's 2 ways.
They keep growing.
Yeah, I forgot about my outside doors, but you can get in from the foyer, and you can get in from the dining room. And the foyer is open, but the dining room has a pocket door, and I have French doors in my family room, which is in the same area, into my living room, like a double French door. And it always bugged me that I just had this ugly pocket door. And so if I'm having people for dinner and I'm working in the kitchen, I don't necessarily need them to see all the mess going on in there. So that's how we can close the pocket door. I just found a pocket door that it looks like a French door.
Oh, wonderful.
What a great look, especially if you need to close that door for whatever reason, instead of just having like a solid door, amp it up a little bit. And I think I saw those at Lowe's, and they are not that expensive.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great idea?
That's a great idea. And hey, while we're talking about inexpensively updating a kitchen, you can paint ceramic tile. So if you have a backsplash that you don't like and you don't really want to go to the cost or the mess of having it removed and then replacing it with something else, try painting it over. And, worst case scenario, you don't like it, or you like it for a couple of years, and then you can decide, well, maybe I'm going to go for the real thing and have it taken out. But it might just be this little step that you need to really give your kitchen a facelift. That, together with painting the cabinets and changing out the knobs, I mean, bam, you've got a different
new kitchen.
Yeah, and some countertops can even be painted, some of the laminate ones.
Kelly, what would you paint the tile with?
Well, you definitely, I think you're going to want to have tile on there that's pretty smooth. And, so if you have some sort of texture tile, it might be a little bit more troublesome. And because that's not a high traffic area, I mean, your backsplash is really there for decor and just to sort of have the cabinetry meet the countertops. So there's not going to be necessarily a lot of touching or anything. And,
could you use a spray paint?
No, I would not spray paint them. But I mean, you could have like a professional come in and use a spray gun, but I wouldn't get a can of spray paint. And I think I would definitely, do what we're saying about the cabinets. You're going to want to degrease and demold and scrub the grouge. You don't want to just be like, oh, I could just cover that all up, with my paint.
So you'd use a chalk paint?
No, I think I would use like either a velvet or maybe even a semi.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that would bond better. And there's probably a really, probably a great idea would be to use a primer specifically made for ceramics.
I think that's a great idea.
I do too.
But you're going to have to paint the grout too. It's going to be too hard to paint just the tile.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to paint the
whole
entire
thing.
thing. Yeah. Like we've had, I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but we have had that professional resurfacing done. We had it in our last house. It had that black and green old fashioned tile from like our house was built in the 30s. And unfortunately, some of the tiles were missing. I mean, we were just not going to be able to recreate it. And I really just didn't want the dark green and black. So we had the professionals come in, and boy, they come in like the hazmat suit. I mean, this stuff really, you would not, I don't think you'd want a long career. I don't think you could have a long career putting this stuff in.
But it probably stick to your wall really well.
It sticks to the wall. I mean, it's unbelievable. They coat it, and it, covers all the grout, and it covers everything. And we were in that house for 11 years, and it was fantastic. We never even had a chip. And we had the same thing done here for the old fashioned clawfoot tub and the sink, because they were original, but they really had seen better days. So that stuff really works. But, that's a lot more expensive. And those are high traffic areas. It was a shower, a bathtub, a sink. When you're talking about a backsplash, I have fully confident that if you clean it well and you use a primer, that you could paint that and it will last a long time.
Yeah, you're just going to be touching it when you're cleaning off spills and splashes.
And you'd probably put something over it too, I guess, to preserve it, like a top coat of some kind.
I don't even know if you would have to if you used a velvet or a satin or a semi.
Interesting.
Wow, these are such good ideas.
I know. Thanks so much for joining us today. Remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey, everybody, we want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.